Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about Series 7. So now, I know a lot of people have been talking about Series 7, basically talking about what Pokemon is going to be good, what's Pokemon that's not going to be good, and stuff like that. A few buffs here and there, but kind of noticed that not a lot of players have been talking about like in what sort of team you would kind of see some of these good Pokemon that they've been talking about. So I'm here to kind of show you guys a little bit about the past, because basically where we're gonna be playing like 2018, but with Dynamax in a way. So essentially that's what I'm gonna do here in today's video. Gonna show you guys some like past cores in 2017 and a little bit of 2018. So let's get this video started. So we got the first team right here, very popular team back in 2017. They used to call it GAT, because Garchomp, Arcanine, Celesteela, Tapu Koko. So this was like a really popular core. It's definitely a fantasy core as well, if you guys could see like the typing. So it was really strong back in 2017. Like a lot of players really like this core. With like the last two Pokemon in this team, it would usually be like a Ninetales for like more support, or like a Snorlax for like another win con, because the belly drum is really strong. Which I mean, you could do this in this team as well, but I don't really know, because it is 2020. You could definitely try out more things, but yeah, definitely with Garchomp in it, like being able to like Dynamax is going to be really strong, like throwing off some like really strong max Quakes, and then being able to like throw out like strong max Whirlwinds to also like decrease like the attack of the opposing Pokemon. So it could be like a very bulky Pokemon, and it could be really scary too. You could definitely put like a weakness policy on this Pokemon, or like a Life Orb as well. Usually like the standard back in the day was Earthquake, Rock Slide, Dragon Claw, Protect. That was usually like the standard movesets. You kind of wanted like Rock Slide to hit like flying types more particularly, at least like another way to hit Celesteela, because yeah, the Celesteela is definitely a pretty good option to like cover Garchomp. So like having the Rock Slide there is at least pretty nice. And then yeah, like now we are getting Tapu Koko back now, which is really good, really cool actually. Like I really am pretty excited to use Tapu Koko again. But they did also give it Rising Voltage. At least that's what they're saying from the leaks. So I'm gonna trust the leaks on this one. I think it'd be crazy not to give them, but I could also understand if they didn't. But yeah, Rising Voltage with the Electric Surge as the ability, Tapu Koko is definitely going to be really strong, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be like the most standard movesets. And again, like you see like the stats of Tapu Koko, it's incredibly fast, so you could always like Volt Switch and pivot out and stuff. And then with like Celesteela, back then they usually always like kind of played it like very stally. Like majority of the movesets was Heavy Slam, Leech Seed, Substitute, Protect. Right now, I mean, maybe you could probably they also did drop Substitute for Flamethrower for like opposing like Celesteelas. If you like, it was at least like a better way to kind of like beat the mirror, especially if your Celesteela was a lot faster than theirs. So it's definitely a good option to like have Flamethrower. Oh, and also it's very good for like Kartana as well. That was another pretty good check for Kartana. And then Arcanine, usually I think like the standard Arcanine, like back then it was the same thing, like Flare Blitz, Snarl, Will-O-Wisp, Protect. But back then they used to like make it a little bit more bulkier, careful like nature, just so it could live like a I think a Electric Z move from Tapu Koko. Yeah, I don't know if they will do that now with this Arcanine, but yeah. All right, so we're gonna move to the next core. Well, this is more like a 2020 like version of the last core. Except we are going to be using like the Dragapult and Incineroar. What's really good, what's better than having like one Pokemon that's incredibly fast, having a second Pokemon that's incredibly fast. We do have Dragapult here, and what I really like about this team as well is that since Dragapult does outspeed Tapu Koko, what you could do is you like max Dragapult, you throw off a really strong max Phantasm, and then you can have like a physical Koko, because physical Koko is still pretty viable. We have seen a few top players make it pretty viable and very good, because it does get access to Wild Charge, and I do believe in the leaks as well it also does get Play Rough. Of course it doesn't say it's illegal here, but it does say that it is going to get Play Rough, so that's actually really good. I think that was definitely something that Tapu Koko was missing on the physical side. And also like it does also get like U-turn if you don't want to use like a Volt Switch. U-turn is another really good option to like pivot out, of course. But yeah, this is a really good. I feel like it's also very good against like Tapu Fini as well, because if you kind of really notice, in theory, Tapu Fini is kind of like a really good check, a really easy check too for Dragapult, because it's gonna nerf like the Dragon Max moves, and then like and then, you know, being a fairy, of course, you know, hitting strong like Moonblast on the Dragapult. Yeah, I feel like Tapu Fini is going to be a really nice check against Dragapult. So that's why like Tapu Koko probably fits a better teammate for it. Just to like kind of easily handle it as well. So you could always just like maximum Tanzone like Tapu Fini's partner, and then Tapu Koko could hit Tapu Fini with a wild charge, and more than likely would Oko it as well. Because yeah, like I said, the Tapu Koko's attack is a lot higher than its special attack, but you can still run like special if you like, but this is a nice option as well. So here we do have like the fire types. I feel like for like this core, you always kind of want like a fire type, because it could potentially wall like electric types, I guess, if you're not like careful. Maybe even Ferrothorn too. Not sure how much Ferrothorn we're gonna see in the next series, but we could. But I would probably pick Incineroar, since Incineroar is coming back as well, like next to Dragapult, and I feel like it's a lot better also to like kind of handle Dragapult as well because of the dark typing. And as well, you know, like Dragapult and Incineroar, very good pair. They kind of like cover their weaknesses in a way. You know, Incineroar is weak to fighting. You know, you got Dragapult that's actually immune, of course. And then Dragapult is weak to Ghost and Dark, and Incineroar could definitely take care of that as well. And Tapu Koko, of course, can take care of like the dark weakness of Dragapult. You could run Arcanine, but I definitely would recommend maybe running Incineroar in this slot instead. Now, we have another one that's basically the similar as the other ones, but this one has Tapu Fini. Again, this is like a very support Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini, I feel like is definitely going to be one of the most used Tapus, because I feel like it's definitely one of the best Tapus in my opinion. The Misty Surge is definitely one big one. We are going to have Garchomp here. I know Garchomp is a dragon type, but actually back then, like more like after like the meta was evolving and stuff, and they were replacing Tapu Fini for they were replacing Koko for Tapu, no, they were replacing Koko for Fini. There we go. So like, you know, like the Garchomp doesn't get burned, or like, you know, your Pokemon doesn't get hacks or anything. So a lot of players were not running Dragon Claw anymore. Like they were just running like Earthquake, Rock Slide, of course, to have like the option to hit flying types, and actually Swords Dance as well. Back then it was Ground Z, but like now, you know, we can just Dynamax this Pokemon as well. Yeah, I feel like Garchomp is definitely going to be a pretty good Pokemon. Especially, you could also even put like a redirection, like a fairy type as well too. Like a Togekiss, like Follow Me. For the ability though, for like Garchomp, you could definitely run either Sandveil or Rough Skin. Rough Skin is really nice just to, like, you know, in case a fake out user that has Sash fakes out Garchomp, or like on the Switch end, you know, you break the Sash, you know, that's really good as well. In a way, it's okay against like Water Urshifu, like in a way, just because, like, you know, it's hitting 3 times. That means 3 times it's gonna get extra chip damage from Rough Skin. But with like Sandveil, you could run Sandveil as well. Like, you know, it is kind of nice to also being able to like dodge some moves, and you could also set up the sand with like max rockfall with Garchomp. So yeah, for like this team, with like if you're running like a Tapu Fini, I would definitely just recommend like running this set, and then as well like as Protect. You could run Dragon Claw and no Protect, but I would probably recommend running Protect. Protect is pretty good. Still the same thing. I'm pretty sure you could probably make it a little bit more like stally with like Heavy Slam, Leech Seed, Sub, or like Flamethrower, Protect, because this team could potentially be very weak to Kartana as well. I mean, we do have the Incineroar. It is a tool to at least kind of help against Kartana, but it is still kind of weak to Kartana, because Kartana does get like a fighting move too, which is very good. Kartana is definitely strong. But again, you know, you could definitely either not run Incineroar and run Arcanine instead. Would be pretty nice too. But yeah, it really does depend on preference too. And then let's see, we'll go to the next one. Now we have the infamous AFK. If you guys don't know why it's called AFK, is of course, you know, Arcanine, Fini, Kartana. This is like a water grass core. This is probably one of like my favorite cores back in 2017. It was really strong back then. And I'm pretty sure it could probably be really strong now. I mean, especially with like Dynamax now too. Like Cortana being able to like Dynamax and have like a really good like move pool. Let me see. Switching over here. Yeah, because it does really get like a really good move pool. I know it does now in the leaks again. It says that it does get a Grassy Glide, so that could be another really good option, especially since you could have a way to like set it up. If not, you could always still run Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade is still a nice little option. Sacred Sword is really good as well. It's another option to like boost up your attack. And then I'm pretty sure maybe some people would want to run Smart Strike, mostly probably just for like the Steel Spike boost. I mean, it's not bad. A lot of people, like a lot of players back then, didn't really run Smart Strike. It was usually like mostly like Leaf Blade, Sacred Sword that were like the main ways to like attack certain Pokemon. With like the rest would be kind of like fillers. I would probably recommend running it like maybe in Assault Vest, but you could still run it like in like with Leaf Blade, Sacred Sword, and Smart Strike. Yeah, this is very flexible Cortana. And then for like the fake PG, because this is like where like mostly like how AFK kind of started as well. If you guys don't know fake PG, it was Porygon 2, Gigalith, and an electric type. So here for like an electric type, I would probably definitely recommend running Coco is a very good one. Coco's a very great one. Raichu and Togedemaru as well. So back then, so back then a lot of players were either using Togedemaru or they were either using Togedemaru or Coco. Sometimes Togedemaru just because like Tapu Koko can't really touch it in a way. Cause Tapu Koko, it's immune to electric, and it's also resist fairy moves. So that's why a lot of people did like to run Togedemaru. For like the Coco sets, a lot of players did run the Z moves on it, but then there were some other players, including myself actually, that would run like an Assault Vest variant that was very good. But back then, Tapu Koko did get access to, I believe it was called Skydrop. Yeah, it was called Skydrop, where you basically if the Pokemon is not like heavy, if the Pokemon's heavy, it won't be able to pick it up. But yeah, essentially, Tapu Koko will just pick up the Pokemon, and then it'll bring it back down, and then it gives you like a chance to like attack it, without that Pokemon like moving for that turn. So it was really broken, especially when you like compared Tapu Koko and Cortana. What you would normally do, like against like a Porygon 2, would be you would Skydrop the Porygon 2, you Swords Dance, and then then Tapu Koko brings back Porygon 2, and then you throw out a huge all-out pummeling with Cortana, and more than likely you would OHKO the Porygon 2. But we don't have access to that. But a really cool way that you could utilize like AV Tapu Koko would be like Electro Web. Yeah, Electro Web. So like now with the new speed mechanics, what you could definitely do is just lead out Koko maybe in Cortana, and you throw out Electro Wave, you decrease the speeds of both of the Pokemon, and then Cortana could probably either maybe have that turn could probably Dynamax, and then KO something that would normally outspeed it. So that's a pretty good way to kind of like utilize this Tapu Koko. And what's nice too, that even Togedemaru and Raichu gets access to Electro Web. So that's really nice. Like if you don't really want to use Tapu Koko, you could definitely use Togedemaru or Raichu, because they do get access to Electro Web. Normally like Togedemaru and Raichu would use Nuzzle, but if you're gonna have Tapu Fini, most of the time you're gonna have the Misty Terrain up, and you're not really gonna be able to get the Nuzzle effect off. So definitely having like Electro Web would be really nice for this Pokemon. Just double checking that it does get it. Yeah, there it is. One more time for this Pokemon. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so this is a really good option that you guys could definitely run for like the AFK kind of thing. All right, so we'll go to the next one. Now we have for 2018 we have Chalk. So this is like Chalk 2020. We basically have all of the Pokemon back now of Chalk, except for Mega Kangaskhan. But if you guys have been like kind of paying attention a little bit on the ladder, a lot of players have been actually testing out, including again myself, been testing out Fake Out Last Resort Kangaskhan. You might think it's a little weird, but it kind of does work. Like, I mean, you just throw off a Fake Out, and then you just start hitting a Pokemon with Last Resort. I mean, it's really strong too. Like, I I think like the most common item on it is Silk Scarf. You could put maybe a different item if you like, but Silk Scarf definitely is really good to like pick up some like pretty important KOs, I would say. But yeah, like essentially with like Last Resort, you're basically hitting Pokemon with like you know, like max moves in a way. So like you're not like, that's why like I would think like maybe some people would want to try out like fake out Last Resort Kangaskhan in this team. Like especially if you lead Kangaskhan Landorus, that could be like pretty strong and pretty scary, to be honest. Because like not only like you're intimidating, you can just Dynamax Landorus and then throw off a max Airstream or throw off like a max Quake, to boost like the special defense on Kangaskhan. Or like again the same thing like attack, since Kangaskhan, that's the best thing about Kangaskhan too, that you can run Scrafty and it's immune to Intimidate too, and you can hit Ghost types too. So I really do think like maybe Kangaskhan, like this version of Kangaskhan would be utilized more. And then yeah, of course, like I said, like you can throw off Max Knuckles to increase the attack of Kangaskhan, or Max Fly, and now you're just like it's just like it's a fast Kangaskhan with Last Resorts. I think I believe Aaron Cyberjohn Zhang has featured Fake Out Last Resort too, so you guys could definitely like check out like those battles and see how much damage it actually does. Like it's really good. And then yeah, like so this was like back then this was like the standard chalk team. Now they more updated version, like in 2018 they replaced I believe it was like Amoonguss and Thundurus, and they replaced Tapu Fini and Kartana. Kartana mostly on this sort of team, they would normally run AV, because Kartana does have a pretty weak special defense. So being able to put like an AV, and I've seen a lot of players actually put like 252 EVs and stuff like that, or not even 252, maybe like 244, and then they put like 1 here and then like a 4 here. And then here an attack, basically, just so it could just to even it out, I guess. So like that was like the most like a standard, I would say, back then in 2018 with the Assault Vest. And then like I said, yeah, Kartana is gonna be like really strong because it does have a really good move pool. Like I don't think it gets knockoff now in this gen, but like you can run like Leaf Blade. Like I said, it does get access to Grassy Glide. Oh, where's Grassy Glide? Yeah, it does get access to Grassy Glide, which is a really great option. And again, you could run like Smart Strike and Sacred Sword. Just another option to like yeah, it's just really strong. Sacred Sword is just strong, and it also ignores stat boost too, which is really crazy. So like if you're going against like an Excadrill and it's like a +3 defense, like it just ignores it, and then it just like does so much damage to it. And yeah, and then we have Tapu Fini here. I think like Tapu Fini is pretty important for this team, especially because of Burning Jealousy. That, yeah, there you go. I feel like this team would definitely be very weak to Burning Jealousy, because I feel like Kangaskhan and like Landorus would be a very good lead, and if your opponent somehow like ends up living and they throw off a Burning Jealousy, both your Kangaskhan and Landorus are burned, so that kind of like really hurts. Granted, Tapu Fini can't really save Landorus, but at least you could definitely save like Kangaskhan and Kartana from getting burned. And then of course like Heatran as well, like kind of like helps not getting like hacks as well, like status and stuff. Yeah, Heatran is another big one. I think it's pretty standard in this team. Normally they would run like Sugar Berry with Heat Wave, Earth Power, Flash Cannon. I do think it does get access to Burning Jealousy as well, and Scorching Sands. I don't know how much Burning Jealousy would be used, but I would definitely maybe try it out if you want to. If you don't want to try out Heat Wave and want to try out Burning Jealousy, you definitely can. And then we have Cresselia, a very good Pokemon, a lot of good speed control. You got the Icy Wind or Trick Room, whichever route you want to use. So yeah, I would definitely think that this would be like the first team people would want to try out, because I mean this is all like testing, right? Like what we kind of think we might see. Now we have like some cool fun stuff here. I call this like the Tapu Lele on Bird and stuff. Just basically Pokemon that are a lot better to like use the Psychic Seed, or more like the Seed and Unburden. Like Drifloon Lele was definitely a pretty popular corp in 2017. I think Shoma, I can't pronounce his last name though. Yeah, a very popular Japanese, very good player. I think they won like he won like some invitational with a lot of good players, VGC players. Yeah, and he had Tapu Lele, Drifloon with like Garchomp, Pheromosa, I believe, and like Magnezone and Gyarados. Yeah, so this is like very strong. And then especially with the new speed mechanic again, you know, Drifloon, you can just set up Tailwind, and then Tapu Lele is incredibly fast and then starts throwing off very powerful expanding force. Now normally, like, this is not like the standard move sets. It really all depends on the move that you want to use with the item that you want to use on Tapu Lele. But I would definitely guess like expanding force, because it is going to get expanding force as well, and Moonblast would be the first ones, and then maybe like Thunderbolt and Shadow Ball to like hit ghost types super effectively, and Thunderbolt just to I believe it's mostly to counter like Celesteela, because Celesteela is definitely going to be I feel like it's definitely going to be one of the most used Pokemons coming back in Series 7. So hitting the hitting the Celesteela is definitely going to be good with Thunderbolt here. Drifloon, back then it used to get like Destiny Bond, but now Destiny Bond doesn't work on Dynamax moves, so there's a lot more room to work with Drifloon. You can run like Strength Staff, Hypnosis if you're, you know, a madman. Clear Smog as well. It also does get access to Haze too, just to like in case like your opponent like has like, I don't know, drops the special attack on Tapu Lele, so you can definitely, or like if you go up against like a Belly Drum kind of user, you can definitely just Haze them the next turn, which is really nice. There's a lot of options you can do with Drifloon. I put Slurpuff here only just because I feel like there was like a player that did pretty well with it, NDD Male and Slurpuff, and I think these were like the same movesets he or she used. I couldn't really remember who it was. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting, and I thought I would at least mention it, give it a little bit of respect, because I mean it does get fake tears and burden. I think one of the most important ones is Yawn and After You. Like the fact that you could just be incredibly fast and throw off Yawns is really good, and the same thing with After You as well. If like they knock out your Lele and then you have like another slow Pokemon, you could just After You, and that slow Pokemon could attack first. You know, very good support Pokemon. Alcelgor definitely was another good support for Tapu Lele. Usually with the Alcelgor, they would normally run Choice Scarf. The same thing with Slurpuff. I think I would say like these three normally you would want to run like Scarf Tapu Lele, just so you can be incredibly fast. And then again, yeah, Alcelgor gets access to Strogobug, really good move. Has the chance of decreasing the special attack on both players. We have Final Gambit. It was pretty commonly used as well. Since it does have a higher HP than the Tapus, it was really nice to be able to like one-hit KO them back then. That depends now if they don't Dynamax, but it is a pretty good option to use. Because yeah, he does have a pretty average HP, so you'll definitely knock out some few Pokemon. Acid Spray, same thing. It's like a fake Tears, but it's an attacking move, so it's a really nice. And the same thing, like you can, I believe back then they used to run Encore, but now I don't really know how well Encore is gonna do. So I just put Yawn because I feel, again, I think throwing off a really fast Yawn is really pretty good. Then we have the Siebel, calling this the Moxie Boosted because yeah, we've seen a lot. We've seen him do a lot of work with NDD Male and Moxie and Siebel. So yeah, we'll call this the Moxie, the Moxie Siebel Lele team kind of thing. Yeah, because we've seen him use like Taunt, Fake Tear, Snarl, and Beat Up for like I think he had Pavilion, I think, right, in this team. Yeah, so you could definitely run Beat Up or like some other options. I think Thibault does have like pretty good options as well as like moves. Let's see. Yet another good one that I was mentioning. Oh yeah, much shot. That's another good one as well that you could use if you don't want to use Beat Up or something, or Foul Play. Like much shot, like being able to again, like another way of speed control, which is really nice too. Alright, so we're done with that. Now we're gonna go to TSM, aka Team Solomid, aka Metagross, Lele, Salamence. So yeah, this is the same thing, another fantasy core here. Back in 2017, around like I think it was like before Worlds. Somebody started using like, I don't really know who, but like somebody just started using like Assault Vest Salamence and Weakness Policy Metagross, and then essentially you would just bulldoze, activate the Weakness Policy, and then, you know, Metagross at +2 is incredibly scary. And now with the new speed mechanics, like you could definitely just like like back then you would have to protect bulldoze and then bulldoze and then attack with Metagross. Now you don't really have to do that. You can just right away bulldoze and then start hitting incredibly strong with max moves with Metagross, because you could definitely Dynamax Metagross here. And then yeah, the good thing is about Metagross is that it does get Psycho Cut now, so you don't have to run that god awful Zen Headbutt. You could, but if you have the option of running like it's only like 10, like it's only like 10, right? Like 10 base power difference. Like if you have the option to hit 100% accuracy move, I would just recommend doing that. And plus Psycho Cut, you get the option to crit. So I mean, I feel like this gen, like a lot of crits have been happening so often, so it's like, why not? Might as well run Psycho Cut. It does also get access to like Earthquake too, to increase the special defense. Like the defense is already pretty high. Being able to like getting a +1, that's incredibly pretty strong too. Especially the fact that you can't get your defenses lowered because of the clear body. And then it does get access to Ice Punch as well. Another good option to like handle like Dragapult or Landorus too, which is really nice. Another good Pokemon that I would probably recommend if you don't want to run Lele. Usually Lele here is run just so like to stop Fake Out, and as well as to increase the damage of like terrain with Metagross. But like you could already set up the Psychic Terrain with Metagross anyway. So like if you don't really want to use Tapu Lele, you could definitely run Tapu Fini. Again, it helps Metagross not get burned, or just any status moves that you don't want Metagross to get hit by, which is really nice. And if you don't really want to use like Salamence, you could run Hydreigon, because like this core is kind of weak to Dragapult. So having like a Hydreigon, especially maybe like a Scarf, would be pretty nice against like an Dragapult, because you'll be able to outspeed it, and Draco Meteor is definitely going to get the KO on the Dragapult, which is pretty nice. And it also does get access to Bulldoze, so you could definitely use either one if you like. It really just kind of depends on your playstyle too, or like if you don't really have like a good answer to Dragapult, because Dragapult will definitely destroy this core. Like, it's not funny. All right, let's go to the next one. This is probably one of my like favorite teams to use as well back in 2017. More like as a fun team. This is the Ashton Cox Brazil team is what I'm gonna call it, because he did win the Brazil in 2017. He had Tapu Lele, Pheromosa, Lilligant, Torkoal, Snorlax. He had a Mimikyu on this slot, but I thought what's better than having one Psychic Terrain or one Psychic Surge ability? Having two Psychic Surge abilities. So having Indeedee is definitely really good. And then with Snorlax, we've seen that Belly Drum G-Maxes could be incredibly strong. With Lilligant, you could run Lilligant if you like. You could also have the option of running Venusaur too. I mean, we already seen how annoying and stupid Venusaur could be, so you could definitely replace Lilligant for Venusaur as well. Yeah, but like it's all different roles, right? Like Lilligant is more supportive because it has after use Sleep Powder, and Venusaur can be a little bit supportive with Sleep Powder, but it could also be very aggressive with like the Max Quakes, Max Ooze, and stuff like that. And then like he had like Tapu Lele. I believe his Tapu Lele was like Choice Specs, but again, it really depends on your preference if you want Choice Specs or Choice Scarf. The Pheromosa, I think it was a Z move, but you could definitely run like Focus Sash. And the great thing about like Pheromosa, it actually does get Speed Swap. And the same thing, if you lead like Indeedee, Snorlax, you get the Belly Drum off, they knock out your Indeedee, and then next turn you bring out Pheromosa, you Speed Swap. Snorlax is incredibly fast because Pheromosa is one of the. I feel like it's like one of the only few Pokemon that could actually outspeed Dragapult. So that's pretty cool. Like, it's really good. The fact that this thing gets like Speed Swap, so you could definitely run like Focus Sash, and then having like the two terrains. I feel like that's really cool too, because like when they had Mimikyu, like back then, it was the Ghost TMZ with Destiny Bond, and what that would do, it was basically like a follow me, right? So we don't have Z moves anymore, and I feel like Mimikyu wouldn't really do the team justice in a way. Like I feel like it just wouldn't do like what it would want to do. And I think Tapu Fini definitely helps out, because you could definitely run Tapu Fini female as well. with like the Follow Me, Expanding Force, Helping Hand. Like it's a really good Pokemon to use too, especially like next to like Tapu Lele. Like yeah. So this is a pretty fun, team to try out too if you guys like to test out. Then we got a Charizard team. I would say this is pretty standard Charizard team. They kind of like cover each other's weaknesses. You could add a weather setter if you like. The only thing is back then we had the Mega Charizard that already had Drought, but we don't have Megas again, but we do have the G-Max, and G-Max's Charizard is pretty broken. Just that Wildfire effect is incredibly strong. And then like I said, they just basically cover each other's weaknesses in a way. Lapras can handle like the rock types that are incredibly weak to Charizard, and then Tapu Koko could handle the water Pokemon that could hit like Charizard and Landorus super effectively. Normally in this team they would also run Cresselia for like another option for like Trick Room, and as well like they also had like Tyranitar. Oops, I spelled Tyranitar wrong. Yeah, they also had like Tyranitar there like for like another great option, and you could also even like put a Mungus as well, like just a Mungus just to like have another option for like redirection. Granted, I mean you are gonna have Tapu Koko, but if you're playing it well, you could you don't really have to activate your Electric Terrain like right away, right? Like you could just like put a few Pokemon to sleep and then bring out Tapu Koko or whatever like that. Yeah, but yeah, this could be like a pretty good. And then like Cresselia does have, like I said, it does get Icy Wind, does get Trick Room, gets Skill Swap as well, so you could also like Skill Swap your Tyranitar. You set up the Sand in case like maybe your opponent has set up Rain from like a Max Geyser, and then it also gets Levitate, so at least you get like an immunity to ground moves afterwards, so, which is pretty nice as well. Yes. All right, now let's go to like other pretty cool stuff. I still think Sand is still gonna be pretty good. We did see St. John Park do pretty well on the ladder back in 2018 with Excadrill Tyranitar. He had Thundurus T though, but like now that Thundurus Incarnate could get Defiant, I feel like you could definitely would want to use Thundurus, this Thundurus more than the Thundurus T. Mostly because the speed. I believe Thundurus and Asterion is 102, no 101, yeah. So it's a lot slower than this Thundurus. And again, I feel like if you're running like Excadrill Tyranitar, like the Sand team, they're pretty weak to Intimidate. So Thundurus, I feel like, is very good for this team, especially if you put in like maybe like a safety goggles to like help handle like a Mungus a little bit better. Yeah, because like it is good. Like these two Pokemon are pretty weak to like water moves, right? So like if your opponent has like say like a Tapu Fini and like maybe like a Rage Powder Pokemon, you could at least have like Thundurus safety goggles and and hit them with a Max Lightning and stuff. So yeah, this is a pretty good Thundurus. I would say like the standard movesets would be Wild Charge, Super Power, Fly, maybe even U-Turn if you like. If not, I feel like Protect is a lot better too. I feel like I also had to mention Dracovish does get Sand Rush. I know a lot of people have been talking about this. Just wanted to mention again. I feel like it's a pretty nice option to use as well. Another Pokemon to like abuse the sand is always pretty nice, right? And like it's good because like now Dracovish doesn't really need to run Scarf anymore. Like you can just like run other items, which is really nice. And with like Dracosoul, like now you can hit consistent Bolt Beaks too, which is also really good too. And like Bolt Beak and Vicious Rend, base 170 moves, like that's not bad, man. That's like really strong too. Yeah, and then Dracosoul is also a really nice option to like hit like the weakness of water of these two Pokemon here. Yeah. So let's go on to the other weather. I feel like I don't know. I kind of want to bring up Hail just because, just to show Hail some love, right? Like, I feel like we've been seeing a little bit more Vanillux actually right now. A lot of Japanese players love Vanillux, to be honest. It's a really good Pokemon. But right now, how they've been playing Vanillux has usually been like Ice Shard, Blizzard, Freeze Strike, Taunt. With Ninetales, yeah, it's a little bit more supportive though, so you can definitely run like support Ninetales with Icy Wind and Aurora Bell. Again, I just wanted to. The only reason I want to talk about like Hail teams is because Activish and Octosoul does get Slush Rush, which is pretty cool. Again, they do Octovish does get Vicious Rend, so having a fast Pokemon with Vicious Rend, really good. You know, it's a pretty decent attack stat too, so it's not even that bad either. And like okay bulk too, like 90 HP, 100 defense, and 90 special defense. Like that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Then we do have a Octazol as well. The only fortunate like about like these two Pokemon is that their speed is so slow. I mean, the good thing is that I think at 252 you could outspeed Dragapult. Yeah, you could outspeed Dragapult by 1 point. So that's at least like the good news about that. But the fact that you have to use all your EVs on speed to outspeed Dragapult, like that kind of like it kind of sucks. But I mean, it could still be a pretty good Pokemon, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it all really depends on like the person's playstyle. And then we have Rain. Granted, and this Rain that you're looking at doesn't really have like a Swift Swim user. I don't know. I just don't really feel like any good Swift Swim user could be pretty well, especially like in this team. Like, so like in the past, like what we've been seeing like a lot. Like I've seen a lot of like, especially like this year, right? Like we've been seeing like a lot of like Marowak. Instead of Celesteela, it was like Corviknight and like Rillaboom with Politoed, like that core. Like this is where I got like this inspiration from, right? Like we got like the Politoed that could help out the Rain, you know, set up the Rain and help out like the Corviknight and the Rillaboom. Now you could run Celesteela, and what I was thinking about this Celesteela, like this Celesteela could actually be like more of an attacker than more install, which could like be really good because I don't know, like a lot of people maybe not know that Celesteela does have actually pretty good move pools. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I said, it gets Flamethrower, Flash Cannon is very good. It does get access to Air Slash, and you already know, like, you know, Max Airstream is incredibly strong. And then, you know, if you're able to get a knockout, you can get a nice little Beast Boost on either a respectable stat too. And then yeah, you could either run Weakness Policy just to like, you know, attack more, or you can run like a Lumberry like most like Corviknights do. Like you can kind of play it like as a Corviknight as well. Granted, Celesteela does not get Roost, but it does get Leech Seed, which is I feel like just as well, not as good, but like a pretty good option to get like recovery, right? Like imagine like you like set up a few Leech Seeds and then you just max, and then you know you're like knocking people out because like the extra little chip damage that you did with Leech Seed, and you know plus you know you're knocking people out, you get a stat boost from like the max moves, and then you also get like a stat boost from like Beast Boost if you like knock out a Pokemon, and then you know get like a recovery if you were able to get like a Leech Seed off like on its partner or something like that. And then again, like a really good partner for like Celesteela was like Marowak because of the Lightning Rod as well. And it's also a very good check to like opposing Celesteela too. Granted, I mean we are gonna have like the Rain, but like you know Rain doesn't really last long, and Celesteela normally does not have anything good to hit Marowak for super effectively besides Earthquake. And if it has Earthquake, then you know you have Rillaboom and Tapu Bulu here. Again, here for like these two, I feel like it's definitely preference on which Pokemon you want to use. But I feel like you could definitely use either or. Like Tapu Bulu is really strong. Like I said, this also gets like Grassy Glide too, so, which is really nice. So you can run like this Tapu Bulu as a choice band in a way, or Assault Vest as well. But it doesn't get like the pivot like Rillaboom does with U-turn and Assault Vest, kind of like that. Yeah, so it really depends on preference. You could either run Tapu Bulu or Rillaboom. It's really up to you guys. And now for like the last things. Yeah, this is a pretty long video right there. I'm just gonna talk about a little bit of like other Pokemon you could consider running if you do like to. The first one, really quick, I just have Cadilly just for, you know, another option of Storm. Another Pokemon that has Storm Drain. So like if you don't want to use Gastrodon, you could definitely use Cadilly. Then we have Nidoqueen here. I feel like I had to put Nidoqueen here just to put a little bit of respect on Hidofumi's Nidoqueen because it did win the Japanese Nationals back in 2018. And it's a pretty good Pokemon. Like it gets, you know, like a really strong Earth Power, Ice Beam, Sludge Bomb. You know, like, these are all really good moves, right? Like you got the Sludge Bomb to like increase your special attack if you do max Nidoqueen, and then you have Earth Power to increase the special defense. And it's a really good Pokemon. And then, you know, like Life Force, Sheer Force, like it's really strong. Let's see. And then we have another most popular talk is Dragonite. A lot of people have been talking about Dragonite, especially because it does have like inner focus, so now it can't get flinched, and also it cannot get intimidated. And it is a really strong Pokemon. It has really good stats with the HP of 91, the attack 134, defense is 95, the special attack is 100, not high, but it is pretty good. The special defense at 100, and the speed not fast, but it's okay. Like it's pretty good speed, right? Like because you can just like max Airstream or max Airstream with Fly, or I think it gets Air Slash as well. I could be wrong though. I think I am wrong. Yeah, it does not get Air Slash. Okay, I think it gets Hurricane. I think that's the move I'm thinking about. Yeah, it gets Hurricane, so you could use Dragonite as a special option, but I think a lot of people where they're going to be using is going to be like the weakness policy set with multi-scale. If you don't know what multi-scale does, is if this Pokemon is at full HP, the damage taken from the attacks is half. So if it's at full HP and your opponent throws off a powerful max Hailstorm and your Dragonite is Dynamax, they're more than likely your Dragonite is gonna live that, and you're gonna proc the weakness policy, and you're just gonna go into town with that, right? Like with Max Fly. Then let's see, we have Circuitry. Circuitry saw a little bit of play, or actually a decent amount of play in 2017, next to Clefairy or Smeargle. The reason being is because of Night Tail Glow. Again, if you don't know what Tail Glow does, it raises the user's special attack by 3. So it's like a nasty plot, but with an extra increased stat of special attack. And again, yeah, a lot of people were using this. The most standard sets were like Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, for like a better spread damage. It does get Discharge, but I think Dazzling Gleam is a lot better. Then they kind of finished it up with like Protect as well. So you could definitely use Circuitry. I feel like it might do some work, to be honest. I don't really know right now. I can't really think about anything besides like having Circuitry and Clefairy next to it. I think it also does get access to Rising Voltage, so that's a pretty good buff to Circuitry as well. I think, you know, imagine getting a Tail Glow off and then you get like a max Lightning like with the base 140, because I think that's what Rising Voltage max move damage is, if you guys did not know. Let's see, and then we got the next one. We got Nagalodel. I feel like it could have some potential. I feel like this Pokemon could be really good next to like a Togekiss, mostly because you could follow me like Max Quakes and Max Whirlwinds. You know, two moves that Nagalodel is incredibly weak to. And then yeah, like Nagalodel gets like access to like Air Slash. You know, Sludge Bomb is really good. Draco Meteor and Flamethrower. Pretty good option for like the Steel types. Since like Togekiss and the Nagalodel can't really hit it. Yeah, like they need like something to like hit Steel types, right? Because like the poison, like they're immune to poison, they resist dragon, and they resist like fairy moves. So having like Flamethrower is a pretty cool option to have for that too. Let's see, now we have the next one, Stakataka, another really good Pokemon. Saw a lot of usage in 2018 and in 2019 as well. I can't really speak too much about 2019 because I didn't really play it as much. But in 2018, it saw a lot of usage, especially in hard Trick Room teams, because this Pokemon actually does get access to Trick Room as well. And it has a really good move pool. It gets Gyro Ball. Let's see, it gets Rock Slide and Superpower, whereas they normally use this the Superpower, especially because to be like opposing Stagatakas as well. And also occasionally they did run Ally Switch. You know, I didn't really want to mention this, but Stagataka does get access to Ally Switch. And then yeah, it has really good stats as well. You know, 6-1 HP is not that great, but like the defense and the special defense definitely make up for it. And something interesting that I do want to mention for you guys about Stagataka is that back then, or at least in 2018, right? I don't know in 2019, but in 2018, what people would do, they would run a Lonely Nature, right? Like, you know, Lonely Nature, right, on Stagataka. You didn't really need to like run like a minus Nature, because it's already so slow, like 113, like 13, like that's so slow. So they would run Lonely, right? And then they would increase they will decrease the IVs and defense, and I think it was, like 16, I believe. 16 or 15? No, it was probably 15. Yeah. So they would put 15 IVs, and you know the only reason why for that is for Beast Boost. So if you were able to get a knockout with Sakateka, the Beast Boost, the way how it works, Beast Boost would increase the stat of the highest stat of the Pokemon. But since you have two of them, they would go for the first one, the first stat. So since attack is the first stat, it would increase the attack instead of the defense. So that's a pretty good, cool thing to consider. Yeah, I thought it was incredibly smart. I don't really know who came up with that or where I saw that from. I just remember seeing it and I was like, oh my god, that's incredibly smart. Like that's that's like 200 IQ right there. Let's see, and then we have another good Pokemon, Entei. I'm gonna go through these a little bit quicker. Entei, another good Pokemon, really great HP, 115 attack, 115 as well. The defense is pretty good. Special defense is okay. The speed is great too. It's 100 base speed too. It gets a really good access to a lot of good moves like Sacred Fire, which is probably like the most one that you're going to be using. It's 100 base BP, fire move that has like a 50% chance to burn the Pokemon. So it's a really good Pokemon. It's a very good move to use. I feel like nothing really wants to switch into this move, because there's a big chance that you'll get burned. I mean, granted, Tapu Fini is going to be pretty much seen, but like if you're able to like overwrite the terrain, like this move could be really scary too. It also does get access to like Stone Edge, so there's a nice little way to like hit like Charizard as well, because Charizard does get like Scalding Sands too, so it has like another way to at least like hit Entei for super effective. Yeah, but like Entei has like a lot of really good tools. Like it gets like Bulldoze for like speed control. I believe it also gets Snarl as well. Yeah, it does get Snarl. So there's like a lot of things that you could do with Entei. And then I feel like Entei is like the only one that actually benefits from the hidden ability, like Inner Focus. Again, can't get intimidated or flinch, which is really nice. I think a plane just passed. All right, we're gonna go into the next one. We got Suicune. I just wanted to show up Suicune because I feel like it should get some respect. It's always like very good when it's like legal, like not insanely good, but it's always like a pretty good Pokemon to like use, because it does get access to like Icy Wind as well for like speed control. Some players did end up running like maybe like Calm Mind as well with like Hydro Pump and like Ice Beam. That could be like really strong, and it is a pretty good, it could be another good Dynamax option as well, like after you set up like maybe 1 or 2 Calm Minds. And then, you know, you just like start max airstreaming, because like the speed is not even that bad either. It's 85 base speed too, and it's like incredibly bulky too, like 100 HP, 115 defense and special defense. So it's a really good Pokemon. Let's see, and then we got the next Pokemon to talk about. We got Tornadus. I don't think there's really not much to say. I feel like a lot of people already kind of covered Tornadus in a way, but yeah. Prankster, Tailwind, I think that's all you really need to know. I think with the new speed mechanics, it makes Tornadus a very, very good. It also does get access to like Taunt for like a more supportive role. If you don't really want to use this as a supportive role, you could run Defiant too, which is also a really nice option. Because you could, because it does get access to like superpower, so you could do that. Fly as well, or Aerial Ace if you like to as well, or even Acrobatics too is a pretty good nice option for like max airstream too. But that's basically much it. I feel like we would see a little bit of more Tornadus though, because of the Prankster Tailwind, because we know like how pretty important it is too, because like right now like Talonflame is like the only really good Tailwind user, to be honest. I feel like I could mention like Regigigas. Oh my god, let me. Jesus, I feel like I've not drank water. I feel like I had to like maybe include Regigigas, just because like we do have Wheezing now to at least like kind of like negate the slow start ability. So like now like Regigigas could like, you know, attack and like be like really fast, you know, because like the stats on this Pokemon is really good too, like 110 HP, 160 attack. The defense and the special defense is 110, and the speed is at 102. Yeah, and it has a lot of pretty really good tools too. It does get protect now, so that's a really good that's really good. Like, it didn't get protect. I didn't really know why, but like now it does. So then I feel like Regigigas could see a little bit more play, and it does get access to like Drain Punch, which is really nice. So you can like max Knuckle, and also like recover the damage you took from Regigigas. And then throwing off like a nice little like max strikes is also really nice for like another way of speed control. It is normal move, so you could definitely hit this hit Pokemon with stab normal, which is really nice. And let's see, I think it does get like other really good moves. Like, it does get like Earthquake as well, like if you want like a spread move, and like also for like max Quake to increase the special defense. It does get also access to like Ice Punch as well for like Landorus or Dragon types, I guess, or I guess maybe for like Dragapult. Yeah, because like you can't really hit it with max strike, so at least maybe having Ice Punch is a pretty good option for Regigigas. Alright, let's see. Let's go for the last two. We got Zappados, another pretty good favorite Pokemon back in like 2018. Unfortunately, I think it did lose Tailwind, so unfortunately you can't really use this as like a speed control, but like as an attacker it is pretty good Pokemon. I know same thing, I think it is getting access to like Rising Voltage and Hurricane. I don't know how much we'll see of Rising Voltage. I feel like Rising Voltage is only good if the electric Pokemon is grounded. So like I feel like maybe Zapdos wouldn't really benefit from it too much, so I would probably recommend running like Thunder or Thunderbolt, and then Hurricane as another way for like Airstream. And it also does get access to like Heat Wave as well to hit like Steel type attacks, because it could resist some attacks too. Another good move that it is also getting is Weather Ball. That's also another good option to run. So like if like Hail or Rain is up, that's another great way to like hit Landorus for super effectively, which is pretty nice. Alright, and then yeah, we'll go to the last one. I feel like I should mention Latias, because it did see a little bit of play in 2018. I would say like Latias is mostly used for support. So like the supported moves that they would normally run would be like Icy Wind is a really good one. It also did get access to Ally Switch as well. Yeah, I think it does get access to Ally Switch. And then like it has like a lot of other good moves as well. I also do think it also is getting like Mystical Fire and Aura Sphere. At least like two moves that help Latias like handle like Steel types, right? Because like Psychic and Dragon, like both of those typings resist Steel types resist Dragon and Psychic. So having like Mystical Fire and Aurora Sphere is like really good. Okay, yeah, I think that is all for the video for today. All right, that was a long video, man. It was a pretty long video, but I feel like I kind of covered at least a decent amount of things here. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. You would think we would see a lot more. I feel like this we would probably see it in the beginning, to be honest. Like I would most definitely try out Chalk if I was gonna start off. Like this would definitely be a team I would try out, or as well like this kind of Fantasy Core as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys are pretty excited to use. I'm definitely pretty hyped for Series 7. I don't know, Series 6 is pretty cool, but I feel like, I don't know, there's so much stuff that you could, I don't know. I feel like at one hand, like you could do a lot of cool like diversity teams. Like it's kind of diverse, but not really in a way. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, feel free to like the video, comment, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Again, if you guys wondering where I've been, I've basically just been like streaming on Twitch. If you guys want to follow me on Twitch as well, I'll leave the link on the description. I do stream Monday through Friday, usually like around 2 to 6. That's usually like my stream schedule anyway. Yeah, all right, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.